Yo guys, it's your boy Ryan back with another video, and today we got another what if, and it's probably a banger. And that's if what if Naruto was trained by Hiruzen Sarutobi, better known as the third Hokage. And yeah, it's basically as it sounds. It's a banger. That's not like the major thing that happens. I haven't read ahead, but I just know from the title of the story, which I'll leave down below. I just know that it's gonna have more to it, but I'm just gonna name it as such. But yeah, I hope you guys do enjoy this video. Please leave a like and subscribe, and please, the most important part, comment down below, because honestly, I feel like comments are better than likes. Maybe not subscriptions, but definitely likes, because it helps with the YouTube algorithm and helps more people see my videos. So yeah, let's get right into the video. Roll the intro.
Slick talker since a jet. Wintertime, all the time, ooh, yeah. Look at the way that I move, swag. Disrespectful and I'm rude, okay. I had cocaine in the school, winter one hell of a kid. I am smoking gas, jogging mid. I'm lit. What you doing? I done did. I swear. Slick talker since a jet. Finesse. I know that this what they want. Facts. Run up some money, I'm gone. I'm the truth like Ron.
Chapter 1. Unleashing the Reason. The sound of heavy breathing could be heard throughout the dark streets of Konoha. The person had been running hard for a long time. He was just sleeping in his apartment, dreaming of ramen when they kicked in his door. He shot out of bed and attempted to escape. One of those attackers saw him and launched the kunai at him. The small knife was lodged into his shoulder. He stopped for a brief second, but he knew that he could not stay for long. What had he done to deserve such treatment from the village? He was born here just like everyone else, yet he was singled out. His own village cursed his existence, and he did not even know why. He had done nothing wrong. He was just a 5-year-old boy who had a dream of being Hokage. Why did they hate him so much? He heard the voices of his attackers and began to move when someone appeared in front of him. "There you are, you little demon," the man snarled. He kicked him in the chest, driving the air out of the little boy. He hit the wall with such an impact that he spat out blood. He struggled to stand, but his attention was to the mob that had finally caught up to him. "Please," he begged. "I've done nothing wrong." "Nothing wrong, you said?" "You've killed our loved ones," shouted one. "I've lost my son because of you," another shouted. "You should have been killed the day that you were born," someone roared. I don't know what you're talking about," he said. He suddenly screamed in pain as another kunai was lodged into his other shoulder. The mob started to grab grass, rocks, and glass. They threw the harmful objects at him. They didn't care that it hit him. They didn't care that he cried. He raised his arms to shield himself, but it was useless. Why aren't they stopping? Why isn't anyone coming to help me? Why do they hate me? Why? 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 Destroy them. What? Destroy them. Eliminate them. And tear the flesh from their bones. Who are you? Look at what they've done. They deserve to die. Unleash your rage. Unleash your anger. Unleash your fury. The young boy let loose in a human roar that stopped the mob. The roar could be heard throughout the village. The crowd watched as the red chakra engulfed the small boy. His cuts began to heal at incredible speeds. The red chakra took the form of a fox. "It's the QB! He's unleashing the QB!" a female shouted. One of them ran at the boy, hoping to end his life, but he never reached. He fell to the floor. Blood sprang from his throat. Everyone watched in horror as the boy's hands was covered in blood. He glared at the rest of them. He charged at the mob, not giving them time to run. The 3 figures ran on the roof of a house. Each had a mask on their face and a sword strapped to their back. They were responding to a blast of chakra they felt earlier. As they ran on the rooftops, one of them saw blood spray on the ground. They landed on the ground and investigated it. They found more blood and saw that it led to an alleyway. They entered it. A horror awaited them. They gasped at what they saw. Blood was everywhere, coating the whole alley. Bodies and limbs decorated the ground. They all looked like they were attacked by several beasts. In the middle of it all was a small boy. His whole body was covered in blood. One of the ninjas reached for his sword when he recognized him, but was stopped by the leader. He looked at the boy's eyes. They were in shock. He kept looking at his hands and had a perplexed, scared look on his face. The leader, who had silver hair, which was also gravity-defying, approached the small boy. He knelt to his level and looked him in the eye. The small boy flinched and attempted to get away. "Wait a minute, I'm not here to hurt you," he told him. "No, you'll attack me as they did." "I promise you that I won't. Just relax. You can trust me." "What happened here, and why are you covered in blood?" What stopped the boy in his tracks? He looked back at the mutilated bodies. He then looked back at his hands. Did I do this? I don't remember. They were throwing things at me. And after that, the boy began to freak out. He grabbed his head and screamed, "What is happening to me?" The silver-haired man shot forward quickly and placed his hand on the child's head. The little boy stopped screaming and suddenly fell over. The man watched as tears fell from the little boy's eyes. The man sighed sadly. "Minato-sensei, I'm sorry. Look at what they have done to your son." Hiruzen Sarutobi was not a drinker. He enjoyed a good smoke and enjoyed his students' literature. He rarely drank as it was a very depressing thing to do. However, tonight it would be a different story. He had just returned from the hospital where he just finished visiting a boy who he thought of like a grandson, Naruto Uzumaki. The report that his Anbu had told him disturbed him greatly. He, like several others, felt the wave of chakra that was released and knew what type of chakra it was. He had sent for Jiraiya in case the seal was weakened, but he knew that it wasn't the boy's fault. To think that these people would attack a 5-year-old within his own home, it made his blood boil, and he did not feel sorry for those who died. Still, the fact that Naruto had access to the Kyuubi's chakra, and the council was in an uproar about it. Several called for his death, while a particular warhawk attempted to get him. He unleashed a large amount of his killer intent within the room, so much so that he put one council member in the hospital. He stormed out of the council room and grabbed some sake on his way to the office, telling his receptionist to not disturb him. He took a sip from his saucer when there was a knock at the door. "I said I do not wish to be disturbed," Hiruzen said. "Sarutobi, we need to speak. Please allow us entry," the old man sighed as he knew who was behind the door. "Enter." The door opened to reveal just who he thought it was. They were his old teammates, Koharu Utatane and Homura Mitokado, esteemed members of the council. "What else can I do for you tonight?" he asked sarcastically. "Don't make us into enemies, Hiruzen. We have been teammates for a long time, for it just to end," Homura said. "Just teammates, huh? Glad to know that our time together didn't make us friends." "Sarutobi, stop this. I know you care for the blonde boy, but you cannot just sweep this under the rug," Koharu injected. "You want me to either kill the boy or create a weapon. Sorry if I'm acting crabby about it," he snarled. "What would you have us do then? As soon as words gets out about this, his life will be in danger. Minato would not have wanted his son to be killed by the very people he protected," Homura said. "Do you think I don't know that?" Hiruzen snapped. He slammed his saucer on his desk. He looked out to the village. "I swore to his father as he laid there dying that I would protect him." I felt that I have failed him, he said sadly. Not all of us see the boy as the demon. He is a shining hope, but this must be taken care of, Koharu said softly. Hiruzen sighed and looked out his window. He stood straight and turned to his former teammates. I shall take responsibility for Naruto myself, he informed them. Koharu and Homura, shocked at this statement. What do you mean by that statement, Hiruzen? Asked Koharu. I shall take Naruto in. I shall train him in the arts, and along the way, help him control his demon. That is insane! You cannot do that! Homura shouted. I refuse to kill the boy. I would burn this village down to the ground before I allowed Danzo to take him. I will not be questioned about this. As of today, Naruto Uzumaki is under my care. Anyone who has a problem with that will be dealt with personally by me, he shouted back. The two glared at each other for a while before Koharu spoke. If this is your wish, Hiruzen, she said. Koharu, Homura exclaimed, no, I have no reason to doubt your judgment. If you believe that this is the best, then I will not stop you. The council will be informed of your decision, she said. Hiruzen said nothing, nor did he thank them. He walked past them and out of his office. He had to inform Naruto of the change his life will take. Naruto awakened to the vision of white. He groaned as he tried to move. His body protested, but he ignored it. He forced himself into a sitting position and attempted to get his bearings. You've awakened. That's a good sign. Naruto turned to the sound and smiled at who he saw. Old man, he cheered. Hiruzen smiled at him. Suddenly, he got quiet and looked at his grandfather figure. I'm in the hospital again, aren't I? I'm afraid so, Naruto. What do you remember about last night? He asked the young boy who went deep into thought. I was sleeping, dreaming about ramen, he began. Hiruzen smiled at that. He was not the only one who liked the boy. That's when I heard my door get kicked down. I knew that it may have been some of the villagers along with some ninjas, so I tried to get away. One of them caught up to me as I jumped out and hit me with a kunai. I ran for a while, but they cornered me. They started to throw rocks and glass bottles. I was getting badly cut, and there was a voice. Voice? What voice? It was a scary voice. It told me to do bad things. It yelled at me, and that's when everything went blank. When I came to, there was blood and guts everywhere. I thought it was those men with animals for faces, but then I saw that I was covered in blood. Did I kill those people, old man? The aged man looked at the boy inside. He knew that he could no longer keep this dark secret from him. I'm sorry to say, Naruto, but you did, he said. Then I am a monster, Naruto said sadly. No, you aren't. They are the monsters for trying to kill you, Hiruzen explained. Why do they hate me, Grandpa? Naruto cried. Do you trust me, Naruto? The small boy nodded. You remember the story about the Kyuubi? Yeah. Yeah, the Yondaime kicked its ass and killed him. Well, that is only half true. The Yondaime did kick his ass, as you say, but he did not kill him. Naruto gave him a confused look. The Kyuubi is nothing but rock, chakra, and evil intent. It is a beast that has lived for years and only wreaks havoc when the world is plunged into evil. Despite the Yondaime's greatest skill, he was not able to kill the beast. He could only seal it in the body of a newborn. Naruto was amazed by that. That's when something clicked in his head. He wasn't stupid like people thought. It's just it took him a while to process things. The newborn he placed the Kyuubi in. It's me, isn't it? Naruto asked. Hiruzen slowly nodded. But why was I chosen? This is why I asked if you trust me. I cannot tell you that information. Naruto looked ready to shout at him, but he was stopped by the Yondaime. I cannot tell you because of the increased danger that you will be in. Seeing Naruto's confusion, he continued. The Yondaime, Minato Namikaze is his name, had many enemies. Imagine if word got out that he used you to seal the Kyuubi. They would think that you were a weapon left by him to protect the village. They would have done anything to kill you. Naruto froze at that statement. It was bad enough that the village wanted him dead, but other villagers trying to take his life was an eye-opener. I understand, I guess. Hiruzen chuckled at the sore tone, but he quickly gained Naruto's attention. Now listen, because last night will be too dangerous for you to go home. Because of last night. He forgot the of, but whatever. I would have waited until you reached 7 before sending you to the academy, but we must start your training right now. For this day forward, you shall be my student, he said. Really? Naruto asked in joy. He started to jump up and down on his bed in celebration. Alright, I'm one step closer to becoming Hokage. You still want to be Hokage? He asked. Well, yeah, I'm going to have to find a new reason for being Hokage, but I'm still going to take that hat from you. Hiruzen looked at this boy in amazement. Even after everything he's been through, his will is so strong. He smiled at his future student. Well, Naruto, let's get you out of here. Right, Naruto threw the covers off and looked for his clothes. He couldn't help but wonder what the future held for him. Chapter 2. Training begins. Hiruzen led Naruto to a small room within the Hokage mansion. The room was relatively big and offered the things that his old apartment, except for a bathroom and a kitchen. Naruto just looked around his new home and took everything in. So, how do you like it? Hiruzen asked. It's really cool. Are you sure that I won't be a bother? Naruto asked. Not at all, Hiruzen said. Looking to his left as an Anbu member appeared next to him, he whispered something that made him nod. The Anbu disappeared, and Hiruzen turned his attention back to Naruto. Naruto, I have something to take care of. Get yourself situated and get some rest. If you need anything, ask my daughter. She is down the hall with my grandson. Okay, Naruto said. Hiruzen left, and Naruto was alone again. He dropped his bags and fell on the bed. He decided that some sleep wasn't a bad idea. The Sundame sat and faced the clan heads and council. He wasn't surprised to see them, as there was word that had gotten around about Naruto being taken in by him. So, you summoned me here. What is it you wish from me? Hiruzen asked. We would like you to explain the reason for taking in the young Uzumaki, Fugaku Uchiha demanded. Straight off the bat as always, the old Hokage muttered. Enough, Sarutobi, the council will like to know your reason for taking in the boy. Homura said, I would watch your tone, elder. I still lead this village. If you wish to challenge my authority, then stand and face me. Hiruzen threatened. Sundame, please, we would like to know, Hiyashi asked. As you wish. I am taking Naruto in as a student. I will train him in controlling his power, he explained. Are you mad? You would teach him how to use the beast chakra? Fugaku shouted. Even I have to agree, and you've gone far out of line, Inoichi added. And exactly how have you done that? I've already told you all that I will not kill him. I've also said that I would never give him to Danzo. He is not a weapon, but a boy who bears a burden that none of you cowards could ever handle. Several members shouted in rage at Hiruzen's words. How dare you, started Fugaku, but he was cut off when Hiruzen stood and hit them all with killing intent. Be silent, or I will strike you down myself, he ordered. Everyone had never seen him so angry. They took him seriously and followed his orders. I can only think about what Minato thinks of all of y'all right now. He gave his life for this village, and all he wanted in return was the boy to be seen as a hero, that he was. You all have spat on his grave with your treatment of his legacy. Some had their heads down in shame. Yes, I understand that what I may be doing is totally insane. But what do you think will happen again if he doesn't learn to control his Kyuubi chakra? Are you willing to place the villagers in harm's way? Are you saying that we are to blame? Asked the council member. It wasn't just a mob of villagers this time. There were ninjas that attacked him, Hiruzen stated. None of our clans would dare, Chozo began. But Hiruzen threw a folder at him. He looked in it and gulped. Yes, among the dead was a Chunin from your clan, as well as a Genin from the Unozuka clan. I guess I should punish both of you for not reigning over your members. Fine. So what do you plan on teaching him? Asked Fugaku. Self-defense, tactics, chakra control for a start. I will not allow the boy to be a target anymore. Anything else I will teach him is none of your business, he said, causing Fugaku to growl. Many of the councilmen still looked displeased with him, but he looked at them with swaying? I don't know what that means, but don't know what he means there, but yeah. Hiyashi stood up and faced him. Well, the Hyuga clan will support you, but know that he is your responsibility. If this happens again, then we will go to the daimyo, he stated. I understand. If there is nothing else, I will take my leave. Hiruzen stood and walked out of the room, leaving several unhappy people. The next day, Naruto was with Hiruzen in a private training ground. Hiruzen was dressed in a black ninja outfit with a brown karate top. Naruto was dressed similar to him, but his top was a dark orange. Okay, Naruto, before we begin, I need to go over some things with you. From now on, you will refer to me as Sensei and only as Sensei. Also, I want you to give it your all. I will have no whining or complaining. The second you do, I will punish you severely. Am I clear? Hiruzen asked seriously. Hi, Sensei. I will do as you command, Naruto said with equal seriousness. Hiruzen smiled at him. Good. Now drop down and give me 20. Hi. Naruto dropped down to the ground and did 20 push-ups. After that, Hiruzen had him do several other exercises, including sit-ups, jumping jacks, and squats. Naruto did each one of them without complaint and wasn't even sweating. Hiruzen was amazed at the boy's stamina. Are you warmed up yet? He asked. Yes, Sensei, Naruto replied. Good. Stand by my side. Naruto did as he was told and stood by him. Now, get about 2 feet to my right. Naruto moved 2 feet away from him. Good. Now you will follow each and every one of my movements. Watch and observe as I do this kata. Naruto stood and watched as Hiruzen went through a taijutsu form. When it was over, he returned to where he started and commanded Naruto to follow. Naruto did just that. He made a lot of mistakes and butchered the kata, but Hiruzen was patient and worked with him. After an hour and a half of forms, Hiruzen started with his control. He told Naruto to stay still and make sure that the leaf stayed on his forehead. It was a challenge for Naruto, who was always active. He never did well at things like sitting still. The leaf fell over several times, which frustrated Naruto a lot. Again, Hiruzen was patient with him. He even joined him in this exercise and explained it to him. The exercise continued for 2 hours. After that, they went back into forms. Naruto did the kata again. He still made a lot of mistakes and butchered it, but not as many as before. Hiruzen did correct him for each error and explained that each strike should be done as he meant it. He even showed Naruto how he wanted him to punch to the maximum effect. It would be around noon when he called for a break. The two sat under a tree and rested. Hiruzen looked at Naruto and saw that he was finally winded. Still, he knew that he would be ready soon. Sometimes getting old sucks, he thought. He turned to Naruto. Naruto, do you know why I'm training you? You want me to control the QB, right? Naruto said. Part of it is so that you can control the QB, but that isn't the only reason. I want you to be prepared for when I place you into the academy in 3 years. Most of your training will consist of taijutsu, chakra control, and tactics. If you surprise me, I may teach you 1 or 2 jutsu. Really? Naruto exclaimed. Calm down. The techniques will not be powerful, but they will be useful. But you have to earn them, Naruto. I will not give you anything unless you earn it. Is that understood? Hiruzen asked. Yes, Sensei, I will strive to do right by you. Hiruzen laughed and ruffled his hair. He now understood why Jiraiya liked training hard workers. Geniuses were way too easy to teach. It was a mistake he made when he took a team of his own. He had ignored Jiraiya in favor of Orochimaru because of the boy's natural talent. Tsunade took a field that he had no experience in, so he left her to her own vices. He sighed and stood up. Break time is over. Let us continue with today's training. It would be 2 months since Naruto moved in with Sarutobi. He had gotten to know the old man's daughter, Toshiko, and was glad that she did not view him as many others did. At first, he thought it was because the old man was there, but she took him aside and the two talked. He was pleased to know that she saw him as the hero the Yondaime wanted him to be. He was also close to the 1-year-old Konohamaru. The two hit it off, as Konohamaru found Naruto's whisker marks interesting. He knew that the old man had a son, but he currently wasn't in the village. He asked Toshiko about that, but she told him not to ask. Speaking of the old man, training with him had been arduous and tiring. He was strict. He was a strict enforcer. He did as he said. He remembered when he had gotten out of line. He had him clean the Inuzuka's kennels by himself. Still, it was worth it, as he felt himself starting to get it. The forms were beginning to get much more comfortable, and his muscles began to remember how each punch, kick, and block was done. The leaf exercise was starting to get there, but it was still very hard for him, even if it did get him to focus more. Right now, he was at the Hokage Tower. The old man was doing paperwork while he sat still. Hiruzen had told him that this was an exercise in observation. He explained that a great ninja observes the situation instead of rushing into something that he knows nothing about. He added that many missions had ended in a failure because there was lack of information or lack of observation. Naruto found the exercise boring but did as he was told. Suddenly the door opened, and a man was ushered in. He was definitely a noble, and definitely a Hyuga by the looks of it. He carried himself as a high figure in the world. Naruto just thought he was a snob. Naruto looked on as he and the old man spoke. He continued to observe everything around him with evident boredom. He turned back to the noble and noticed his hands didn't look so delicate as the noblemen he saw. They looked rigid, and there was a small case of callus on his hand. Upon observing further, he saw that the man was always alert, too alert for a noble. When the discussion was over, the man bowed and left the office. Once again, Naruto turned to Hiruzen. "Hey, Sensei, was that guy a ninja?" "What makes you say so, Naruto?" "At first, I thought he was like all those other Hyuga snobs that I've seen before, but his hands show signs of heavy training. There was also the fact that he seemed guarded and alert, even with the 4 masked guys you have hidden." "4? What makes you say that I have 4 masked guys in the office?" Hiruzen asked. "There's one outside the window. The other is inside the corner near the window, and there are 2 guarding the door under what looks like genjutsu." Hiruzen smiled at his student and was very impressed with him. "Excellent, Naruto. That was excellent observation. To answer your question, yes, that man was Hiyashi Hyuga, head of the Hyuga clan. He is one of the village's strongest ninjas. In fact, most of the Hyuga nobles are ninjas." That astonished Naruto. "Today, we are going to spar, and we will put this little exercise to the test." "Yes, Sensei." Naruto and Hiruzen faced each other, and Naruto looked at the man who had been training him for the past 2 months. He watched as the man slipped into a fighting stance. Naruto took a similar stance, looked at his opponent carefully. Okay, he's much older than me, so he can't be that much faster. That stance he has is set so that he could use his power, so if I move fast enough, then I can win this fight, he thought. "Are you ready, Naruto?" he asked. "Yes," he said, and prepared himself to charge. "Attack!" Hiruzen ordered, and Naruto took off. He was in a striking stance as Hiruzen threw a punch at him. Naruto saw the blow a mile away and dodged to his left. He quickly threw a punch of his own that would have scored him a hit. Hiruzen caught the punch to Naruto's surprise and hit the blonde with a back fist. Naruto was sent flying in the air by the blow, but flipped himself back into his stance. Hiruzen was on top of him and struck him with a knee that forced his air from his lungs. He was forced to the ground by an elbow. Naruto struggled to stand while Hiruzen backed off. He waited until Naruto got his breath back, and he sat up. "Now, what happened to you?" Hiruzen asked. "I underestimated you, Sensei," he said. "And why did you underestimate me?" "I went with the fact that you were older and your stance was used for power, not speed. I thought that if I was fast enough, that I could hit you." "I figured that much, but I'm a Hokage for a reason, Naruto. I may be old, but I haven't lost my step. Also, I have fought in 3 wars, so my experience is limitless." What you must learn is that the first observations are not always right. In a fight, your observations can change in a flash, and if you're not ready for it, then you will die. Do you understand, Naruto? I think I do, Naruto answered. Good. Now let us continue. Remember, do not count on your first observation. You have until dinner to land a hit, Hiruzen said. Naruto nodded and slipped into his stance. Hiruzen followed his lead and commanded him to attack. Naruto charged and engaged him. Naruto never landed a hit on the old man, though. But he did gain a valuable lesson for which would save his life in the future. Yeah, I'm gonna end it there. That was 2 chapters, and yesterday I was recording for like an hour, but I never used any of the footage. But yeah, if you guys did like this video, leave a like and subscribe. Also, please, for the love of God, or whatever you believe in, please, pretty please, leave a comment. It doesn't have to be anything special. Just leave a comment, and that's because, the YouTube algorithm, takes comments into account, and more people can see this video. And yeah, get me some more motivation to put out videos faster. And well, I hope you guys enjoyed this. It's been your boy Ryan, but I'll catch you in the next video, and the next part of this will be uploaded in 1 to 2 days, so be on the lookout for that. Yeah, stay alert, and peace out.